Welcome to Sex at 10. I'm Rebecca Rosenblat, certified relationship and sexuality therapist and your host. Here to answer all your questions on all things intimate. Whether you're stuck in a relationship dilemma, have issues with your body, trust, trauma, addiction, or orientation, or just need a little help with turning up the heat in your bedroom, give us a shout at 1-800-968-7836 and let's chat. Everything's fair game. If you've thought about it, we can talk about it. Let's begin with the discussion on anal play. And to help us with that, we're being joined by an expert in the area, sex coach Carlyle Jansen. Carlyle is dedicated to educating people about all aspects of healthy sexuality. Toward that end, she's the founder of Good For Her, a sexuality shop and workshop center in Toronto, a facilitator of various sexuality seminars, a sex coach who's been helping individuals and couples since 1995, and the author of various books, including her latest, soon-to-be-released, Anal Sex Basics, The Beginner's Guide to Maximizing Anal Pleasure for Everybody. Welcome and good evening.
Hello.
Happy New Year. So excited to have you here.
Oh, it's great to be here.
And we're getting right into it.
Okay.
So nowadays, everywhere you turn, it's hard to have a discussion about sex without anal sex popping up. But regardless of it coming out of previously taboo territory, there's still a lot of misinformation out there. So I'm so glad that tonight you'll be telling it like it is. Let's begin with the question that comes up most often. Is anal sex dangerous?
Oh, yes. I would say no. I mean, anything can be dangerous, right? Mm-hmm. Crossing the street can be dangerous. Of course, oral sex can be dangerous if you do things that are dangerous. But basically, anal sex is something that's very pleasurable, that our bodies are used to. We're used to stimulation in that area. And so as long as you take precautions about using proper toys, using condoms, cleaning up properly, making sure that you don't push yourself too far, you can have a great time and have really healthy, safe anal pleasure.
And that's why I'm so glad that you're going to be talking about it and telling us how to have healthy and fun and safe anal pleasure. Next, I'd like you to debunk some of the common myths around tearing, wearing out sphincters. Lots of people ask us about that, which could lead to incontinence and so on. And people ask about hemis and stuff like that too.
Right. Yes. So hemorrhoids, a lot of people think, oh, it's going to cause hemorrhoids. What often causes hemorrhoids is stress, sitting for long periods of time, and in particular, straining in order to have a bowel movement or holding it in. And a lot of people feel that actually anal pleasure, if you do it in a way that's taking your time and really building up the pleasure and not pushing yourself, it actually prevents hemorrhoids because it's relaxing the area. And so that's one of the myths. Another one is that you're going to have to wear diapers for the rest of your life.
I have so many people asking me that, am I going to become incontinent?
Yes.
And will I have to have adult diapers?
Right, yes. I don't wear diapers. I know lots of people who enjoy anal pleasure who don't wear diapers. Basically, there's this notion that you're going to stretch the area, but actually it's about relaxing the area. The area opens with relaxation. It's not about straining it, it's about relaxing the area. And so again, if you do it slowly and gradually, you're not going to tear anything. You're just going to allow it to open in a way that it does when you pass a bowel movement anyways, right?
So it isn't any different. But you know, for some reason, people think that below the belt, things are so different, because guys will say, my girlfriend has had hundreds of boyfriends. Does this mean that her vagina has stretched out? They have the same kind of myth.
It's the same process where we think that you're going to overuse it and overstretch it. But basically, it's designed to come back into regular play. And again, I always use sort of a benchmark, especially for beginners. Something that's about the same size or smaller than what comes out is going to be something your body's really naturally used to.
Bigger should go in.
Yeah, and certainly to start with. I mean, some people who are more advanced players will insert larger size toys or penises or fingers. But basically, what most of us are starting with is something that our bodies are really used to. And if we go slowly, then your body will really enjoy the pleasure.
So it's all about relaxation and proper prep.
Yes, and taking your time. So
taking your time.
Often we think like, oh, you know, we have to do this now because, you know, we've only got 20 minutes to have sex, or we have to get up tomorrow morning. And so we're sort of rushing it, but you don't rush anal play.
So it's not a thing for quickies. It's not meant for quickies. It's just relax and take your time.
Well, yeah, and if you push it, what's going to happen is that it's going to be painful.
Because you'll also tense up.
You'll tense up. And so if you tense up, then your anus is going to remember that the next time.
And a body memory is going to make it really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Viewers, if you're considering any kind of butt play and have some questions around it, do call us right away. Now, many people, they share that when they tried anal sex, it was painful, but you and I both know that, again, that generally ties into inappropriate prep. So perhaps you can talk about that next, preparing.
Yeah. I love to say to spend like 10 or 15 minutes on the outside before you go inside, because there's so many nerve endings on the outside. And anal sex and anal play can even be just external stimulation. You don't have to go inside. And there's so many nerve endings there, as many as in our fingertips or our mouths. So spending time there can really relax the area.
And that's why rimming can be a lot of fun too. It doesn't have to be penetrative.
Yes, so oral stimulation with your tongue feels divine. You can use, I love little toys like this. And so these are a little teaser. And this is rubber, so you can wash it. Or these beads also work really nicely.
Are those like Mardi Gras beads?
They're the Mardi Gras beads. And you just drag them oh so gently in the crack of the butt and just really relaxes it really nicely.
The area.
Nice little tickle. And so you can use a vibrator, any vibrator, just put a condom on it to keep bacteria off the vibrator. So spending time on the outside makes the anus relax.
So just kind of rimming and spending time on the outside.
And it makes it trust, and it makes it hungry for more.
Hungry for more. I like that word. I think we have a caller. Let's see what our question is tonight. Good evening, Joe. What is your question for us tonight?
My question is, I'm a 49-year-old man, almost 50, and I'm wondering why I get inside my girlfriend and I become soft when we can do everything outside, but I can't do it inside, and I love her to death.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions for you, Joe. Are you anxious when you're inside?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the things that happens is when you're anxious, cortisol, which is related to stress and anxiety, that hormone goes up. And as soon as it goes up, blood vessels start to constrict because it's getting you ready for an emergency. It's saying, Joe, now is not a good time to have sex. So your blood vessels start to constrict, and it's very common at that point because you don't have full blood flow in the area for the person to lose their erection. Another thing that can happen is if you're used to masturbating a lot because you're at the giving and the receiving end, sometimes your penis can get used to that particular touch, and it needs a little bit of retraining to be able to enjoy penetration. Do you think that resonates by any chance?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Of course.
So you know what you could do is you could get a masturbation sleeve, or you could get something like Fleshlight. It's absolutely marvelous. Actually, most men, it's one of guys' favorite toys, isn't it? The Fleshlight.
Yes.
Often, yeah. So basically, in the Fleshlight, there's 3 inserts. One is a vaginal insert. There's one insert that's oral, and then one insert is anal. So you can choose whichever you want, and they're interchangeable because it pulls out and you can clean it. So if you can kind of lubricate it and use this to masturbate, or you can use another masturbation sleeve, then what happens is you're just retraining the penis to a different kind of touch, to more of a penetrating, a sensation that resembles penetration more so than just your hand, because it can get used to that. Carlyle, do you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I would say that, you know, when you're in that moment where you're about to enter, and probably what goes through your mind in that moment is, oh no, I'm going to lose my erection.
I hope it doesn't happen again. Hence the performance anxiety creates that negative loop. Yes.
And so take a moment and just take a deep breath and just feel what's going on in your body. Notice the sensations in your penis. And just when you feel that, it brings all of your attention there, and there isn't so much room for you to think, oh my God, I'm going to lose my erection. You just focus on, wow, that feels really good, and just notice all the details and
shifting
intensity.
the focus.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a good idea. Another thing, Joe, lots of times you said deep breathing. Sometimes if you just start to breathe really, really deeply, your chest is going up. And some people even say you imagine as if you're breathing right into the penis. You're not actually doing that. But what that does, it just kind of focuses you as if the breath is going down right to the penis. It shifts your focus. So you're thinking about that as opposed to worrying about performance anxiety, because then your cortisol goes up, blood vessels constrict, and you kind of end up in that place. Does that kind of make sense, Joe?
Yes, it does.
Okay, give that a shot, and then, if you need more tips, call us back and we'll troubleshoot some more, okay? Hope it's a lot of fun for you, but just relax, relax, relax. Callers, we're taking all kinds of questions tonight. We're breaking all sorts of taboos. Tonight's a great night. You don't just have one expert, but two experts. So pick up that phone and call us so we can chat. Stephen, we're going over to you. Good evening. What is your question?
When I have sex with my girlfriend, she complains that I'm too big and it's painful for her.
Okay. So, Stephen, are you taking a lot of time getting her ready?
Yes.
Okay, maybe take even more time, because what happens is when a female is ready, her cervix will flip out of the way and inner 2/3 of the vagina will balloon, so it can be easier to accommodate you. And you might also need to work with positions. Is it the length or the girth that's too much for her?
I'm not really sure. She just says she feels that I'm too big.
It's just too much. And is it just that she's felt this way with you, or just in general? She's felt that before?
Not that I know of. I think it's just with me.
Okay, so it could be, because sometimes, with women, just the way the uterus sits, sometimes it can kind of sit off to the side a little bit, and that can cause some discomfort too. So I would just suggest take more time. And are you guys using lube?
No.
Okay, maybe try to use lube as well, and it can be part of your foreplay. Just kind of play with it, play around, put some inside, put some on your penis. It just makes things a little bit slicker, and there isn't as much pressure. Anything to add to that, Carlyle?
I would just ask, is it right at the beginning that it's painful, or is it all the way through?
Mostly all the way through. At the beginning, it seems to be okay. Then after a while, it seems that she's complaining that it's hurting, and the only thing we can think of that I might be too big.
And when she says she's hurting, I mean, you penetrate. It's not like vaginismus where the person clamps shut. You are going in at this point? You're inside? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that sometimes when it starts to get painful, it's the same thing as with anal play, right?
Yeah.
When it starts to get painful, then she starts to clench, and then that makes it even more painful.
Yeah.
So helping her to just like breathe, maybe stop for a moment. And sometimes what will help is if she actually physically tries to squeeze more, take a deep breath, squeeze and relax, and sometimes that helps to relax
almost
the
like
whole
doing
area.
Kegels while it's inside.
So just when it's painful, you stop thrusting, she squeezes with a breath and then relaxes. Sometimes that helps to just help, because it might be that she's getting nervous. Oh no, it's starting to hurt, and then the vagina clamps up.
Vagina clamps up. You know, it's like when you go to get blood work done, you're supposed to relax, and all of us, we do one of these things, and that's the worst thing to do, because we're scared, we're anticipating the needle going in. So it's very possible that when she's anticipating, she kind of gets scared and she clamps shut. So particularly if you feel that she is kind of clamping shut on you, you'd be a really great judge of that you feel that she's clamping on your penis, then you especially know that it's kind of tied into her not being able to relax. So just kind of give that a shot. So we're going to go to break in a little bit, but you were telling us a little bit about some of the stuff that you brought that's good for prep. We're going to go to all sorts of toys later. Is there anything else that you can suggest as far as prep goes?
Well, prep, some people like to clean themselves out ahead of time. Sometimes that makes you feel more comfortable knowing that you're clean. You don't have to. And a lot of people think, oh, I must have,
You're talking clean internally,
Internally,
right?
yes. So you want to clean externally is often a good idea, but internally you can or you don't have to. Some people worry that they have a poop or a bowel movement just sitting right there. No.
Skid marks.
It's way up the digestive tract. As long as you're somebody who has regular bowel movements, you're not going to encounter a huge amount of fecal matter. You may get little bits.
So just kind of hold on to that thought. We're going to come back to that in just a bit. So we'll come back to skid marks in just a bit because we have to go to break. We'll be right back. Keep your calls coming and let's discuss sex, relationships, romance, or whatever else rocks your boat. And keep it locked on Rogers TV because we have lots more great stuff still ahead, including your calls. So pick up that phone and call us so we can connect.